Levy or Levi?
Levy.
Levy. Oh, and we are live. Welcome, everybody.
We are that.
LinkedIn Straight Talk for coaches and creators. So, Mitchell Levy, so good to have you. We've known each other for quite a while, so the last name sort of just has become a non-entity. That's why I had to double check to not.
Oh, I know, and there are three ways to say it, and you suggested the two.
That it wasn't.
That is not the way I pronounce it. So,
well, we're not going to run a test on my last name then.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do that well.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
We're gonna wait till I interview you in your show, and I'll do it ahead of time. So
okay, good. There you go. Much smarter. So welcome everybody. We have a very exciting show today. Mitchell and I will talk about LinkedIn. Guess, yeah, big surprise. Right?
Surprise! We're going to talk about LinkedIn.
Before we dig in, Mitchell, give us just sort of the 2-minute version of who you are and how you got to where you are right now. I don't know whether you can put that into 2 minutes, but give it a go.
Well, I'll try to do it quickly. But what most people think are success factors, right? So I've actually been in Silicon Valley for 39 years, happily married for 37, have a 27-year-old son. I've created 20-ish companies. I've sat on the board of a NASDAQ firm. I have, in the old days, the .com days, I've created conferences for Comdex, 2 different executive business programs at 2 different universities in Silicon Valley, and essentially have had a lot of fun doing a number of different things and hitting the milestones I've wanted to in life. One would say I've actually successfully hit my bucket list items. Now, thank you. What made me who I am today was between 2019 and 2020. Well, first I'll say my wife, because she's amazing. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's who made me today. But from a business side, it's between 2019 and 2020. I interviewed 500 thought leaders on what is this concept of credibility. Mm-hmm. And as a result of doing that, I now have a number of things that came out of it. And one that came out is a superpower. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I realized this truly is a superpower. And that is being able to sit down with any company or any human and help them articulate in less than 10 words where they are executing on their purpose.
Okay.
So you could say clarity, but it really is, I call it CPOP, your customer point of possibilities. And so that's
customer point of possibilities.
Customer point of possibilities.
Okay.
So that's really the short of it is lots of fun activities, lots of partnerships. Where you and I talked about. Oh, yep. How about we do that for a second? We'll just give a definition of the word partnership, because at one point in time we were wondering whether or not we should do something together, and then I said, "Oh, we absolutely can. Here's why." Okay, so partnership. One of the things I've learned, and one of the things I've seen with people who want to do things with somebody else, is they're going to spend so much time focusing on what to do and so much time focusing on the mechanics and the legal stuff that they actually never actually execute. And so here's my suggestion. I've done this with I've started 20-ish plus partnerships and companies. And so here's the thing I always recommend. If you find somebody you enjoy spending time with, you actually go and you start, quote unquote, start the business. And what does that really mean? You find your first client, because it's not until you're actually in the throes of things and the stuff hits the wall. And what you want to see happen is that the person you think is your partner says the same things you would say when you're not in the room. And so you do the engagement together, you finish, and then you look at each other, you go, was that fun? And hopefully it's always fun. And then you say you want to do it again. And if the answer of both of you is yes, then you do the contracts.
Right,
right?
because then it's actually worth it, right? Because then you know you have something. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, in our case, I know it's going to work, whatever we decide to do together, because we're both May Tauruses. Just cannot go wrong.
Well, that could be that we could be a little bit too bullheaded to each other, but that's a different story.
That's a different story. We'll lock horns off screen, or maybe it'd be fun on screen. But anyway, so what is your CPOP?
So I've got two, right? So let me
I
give
am not
both.
surprised.
Well, no. Actually, for a long time, I was thinking you only needed one.
Hmm.
So when you look at my LinkedIn profile, you're going to see one that's associated with my executive coaching. And that
Okay.
one is called Inc. 5000 CEOs Leading the Future with Executive Abundance. So
Okay.
that one happens to be 9 words. And the thought with a CPOP, it's always less than 10.
Okay.
Now, there's a reason. So Inc. 5000 CEOs, typically fast-growing company
Mhm.
CEOs, leading the future, that was needed because for that audience, we need to do something that they could actually put their arms around. And
Mhm.
C points are 80% pain and 20% pleasure. But with CEOs who have large egos, you got to do the pleasure point versus pain point. And so
Mhm.
the goal when I say that, or when a fast growing CEO reads this, is for them to say, Mitchell, what's executive abundance? And then
Right.
I get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we'll put that aside. That's something I'm doing my PhD on, and we'll talk about that some other time if it
Yes.
makes sense. But the one I do that's associated with LinkedIn is
Mhm.
so much more fun. And that's where you and I have overlapping audiences.
Yeah.
So the customer point of possibilities, the CPOP for the thing I do with LinkedIn is really simple. Business owners tired of slimy LinkedIn sales tactics.
Love it. All right,
Right?
hold on. So what's the whole thing? I think I missed the beginning. Say it
Oh,
again.
business owners. So that's the CPOP. So let me gift away
Yeah.
the secret formula, right?
Mhm.
So because I don't mind giving away the secret formula. When I interviewed 500 thought leaders, I would send a video, 16-minute video.
Mhm.
And I'd say, hey, we're gonna first question I'm gonna ask you live is what's your CPOP?
Mm.
And I would say there was a percentage of people who would get it right. Okay,
Mhm.
you want to guess the percentage?
I would say 5, 10,
That's a
maybe.
really good guess, and you're really close. It was 2%.
Oh my god.
2%. You're really
I'm
close.
being way too generous then. Okay, yeah.
And that's even with the fact that I'd send a video of how to create the formula and what it
No
is.
one watches shit unless
And
you hold it down to their head.
that's a problem. We have so much, I just call it marketing cookie cutter shit. We have
Mhm.
so much marketing cookie cutter stuff that gets in the way
Yeah.
of us really focusing on the formula because the CPOP is not about you. It's about your client base.
Yeah.
And so the formula is simple. It's the who and the what.
So
Who
say
do you
yours again.
say it again?
Say yours again.
So it's the who and the what. So who, business owners.
Business owners,
Now
right?
the what in this case is sort of a mixture between a pain point and pleasure point. So
Right.
business owners tired of slimy LinkedIn sales tactics.
Isn't there a third part missing, like what you do for them?
No. See, here's the interesting part.
Mm.
The when you could say the who and the what,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
have 3 potential audiences that hear it.
Mhm.
Okay. The first audience is the prospect.
Yeah.
The second audience is the referral partner.
Mm.
And the third audience is I don't care. Now,
And
the I don't care doesn't mean they don't care about you.
they just
Think
don't
of it
care
this
about
way,
that.
they
Yeah.
don't care about that playground you play in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a really simple way of allowing you when you share your CPOP to know if the person on the other side is either a prospect or referral partner.
Got it. Jennifer Hooks. Hi, Jennifer wants to know. She missed what a CPOP means. So it is a customer point of purpose.
So I by the way, I struggled with that all for a little while, even after doing the interviews. It's customer point of possibilities.
Oh, possibilities. Okay.
And so turns out that it is your compass. It is a phenomenal way for you to be able to share and think about this with yourself first and then everyone else. This compass, which we all know what compasses are, it helps you with your north, south, east, west. And once I sit, and I've sat now with over 1,400 companies and individuals doing this, once you get a CPOP, what's fascinating is, and this is what's really interesting when I meet somebody who's a visual person and they're a do-it-yourselfer type, as soon as they get their CPOP, I see them going like this, right? Their eyes are going up and down, and what they're doing is they're thinking about their website, they're thinking about their LinkedIn and their other social, and they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, I got to make these changes. Because that's what a CPOP is. It's focused specifically on who is that audience that you're serving and what is their pain point or pleasure point that they have. And when you could narrow that down, everything becomes really smooth.
So my CPOP would be quite similar to yours. I would probably be a little bit more specific and say something like professional service-based entrepreneurs.
You could, and let's do a quick exercise, if you don't mind. We'll do a quick exercise, and we'll start. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you the who. And you said professional
service-based
entrepreneurs. There are times
professional.
We could drop the professional. There are times where a CPOP who could be 4 words. So we'll keep that there. But if I said to you, what does that mean? Who are the types of people you typically serve there?
Coaches, consultants, creators.
Got it. And I'm so glad you said then professional service-based entrepreneurs versus coaches, consultants, and creators, the 3 C's, because that's that by the time you say that, people forget everything else. Service-based entrepreneurs, we could do the 3 words. Okay.
Yep.
And then what is it primarily? What is either the pleasure point? Well, we'll start with pain point. What's the big pain point? Why do they come to you?
I mean, officially, well, there's always the official and the real reason, right? I think mostly because they need accountability. They need to figure out LinkedIn, one or the other ish. They need consistency around LinkedIn. They probably need consistency in their lives, period.
I'm going to say, so probably before a year ago, I would have said, okay. That sounds great. Right?
You have evolved too, so it's no longer okay. Yeah.
and what happened a year ago is I realized there's a difference. There's a difference between what people want versus what they need. And it sounded like those are the things that they need, not necessarily the things that they want.
Yeah. They want community. That's what they want.
No
bullshit community. I think the people I attract are very like, very straightforward. And I mean, that's why my show is LinkedIn Straight Talk, right? That just sort of feeds into that conversation.
Interesting. And would you, if you look at your clients that are in your community, would you think that that's really the want versus the need? I know they need it.
Hey, Gloria is online. Jennifer's online. What do you want? I think they just want support around that. Well, what they really want is clients, right? They really want clients. And that's where I say we have overlap, because I very, very, very much talk about I call it no bro marketing, no smarmy bro marketing. So I'm very, very similar in my wording to what you're saying with your CPOP, right? I just don't know what the first thing on their minds.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, in the end, all we want is we want clients, or we want credibility. We want that, that visibility on LinkedIn, right? Wherever that visibility in the end leads us, more clients or more authority or more.
That's right. Thank you for giving that. That's the word that I often hear you say is the visibility word.
Yeah.
right?
And
And
Gloria,
you're,
thank you so much for indulging us. I want clients. She's Gloria, like me, very much to the point, which again, I'm attracting probably people, it's we always attract a mirror to a certain degree, right? So yeah, straightforward and straight to business.
so I'll give you two.
Okay.
Um, and we'll put it, if you don't mind, I'm a visual person, so I'll put it in the private chat so you can see it, but then we'll talk about it.
Yep.
And I like the service-based entrepreneurs, right? So
Yep.
service-based entrepreneurs wanting more clients, got it. Or serve, because, and by the way, because everything about you screams LinkedIn, you don't need to say the word LinkedIn. Or when people say, how do you go about doing that? Then you
Yeah.
dive right into the goal of a CPOP is to get somebody curious enough so that when they say, tell me more, you now have created this cone of clarity around how you're speaking. So the credibility that they give you is really high.
Okay.
Okay. So service-based entrepreneurs wanting more clients.
Yep.
I like the direct piece, or the way you and I have always spoken in the past. So I'm going to say this is a compass for you if you decide that you like this, because the way I think of you is service-based entrepreneurs wanting LinkedIn visibility.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words, right?
Yeah.
Can we put it like without the drama or without the smarmy sales tactics?
Yeah.
Or is that too much? I mean, we're still at 10, right?
It should be less than 10. And just so you know, you can do anything you want, because this is about you, not about me.
Yep.
Right.
No, but I mean, you were the expert, so.
I'm going to say in this case, the truth is less is more.
Okay.
Right. Because if you decided service-based entrepreneurs wanting LinkedIn visibility.
And
You
by
could,
the way,
if you want, instead of saying without drama, you could say wanting the right LinkedIn visibility.
Ooh, how about aligned? I love the word aligned.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I realized. So we'll just add one word there. Okay, we'll put it back in there so you could see it.
Okay, are we still under 10?
So, service-based entrepreneurs wanting aligned LinkedIn visibility.
7. We're perfect.
7. Yeah, well, I like taking service-based and putting a dash between it, making one word versus 2.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I still have 4 words spare, which we don't need to use. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I like that, because I like that a lot. Thank you for pushing the word aligned. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you want, you could take the word aligned and you can make it an acronym.
Make it a what?
Make it an acronym. So if you made it an acronym, now what happens is, let's see if I can do this quickly on the side. Sorry for not looking at you as we talk.
You're being excused.
But if you make it an acronym, then what happens? So I'm going to my chat bot, and part of my dissertation, it's a capstone. So I'm going to incorporate 2 chat bots, one which will help people with CPOPs, one which help people with credibility. And I'm just going to say to my chat bot, what if this is one CPOP, and I'll put it in there. What could the acronym aligned stand for? Right. And then what's really nice, it'll come up with, what do those words mean? And then you could, if you like it, you could use them. Here we go. All right. Interesting. So I'll say it out loud. Ooh, this is a very Mitchell, thing. So I might change it if I did it again, but I'll and when I put it in chat, it might be a little bit too much. So what it says is the A is authentic presence. The L is leverage your CPOP. That's where it's the real Mitchell. The I is intentional engagement.
Mm.
right? The G is give cred dust. So to me, the word cred dust, that's part of credibility. Cred dust is sharing the ideas, thoughts, and actions of others. So even though we technically, if somebody looked at afar, they go,
Mhm.
hey, we're competitors. But when you and I were talking, we're just so complimentary, right?
Yeah.
So because we use a different aspect of LinkedIn and focus on two different things. We're like, it's a real nice fit. Okay. So
Mhm.
G is give cred dust, actually what you're doing for me right now.
Mhm.
N is to nurture relationships consistently.
Mhm.
E is to express value clearly.
Yep.
And then D is to demonstrate credibility through action.
Love it.
Right. So often what happens is when somebody loves their CPOP and you take one of the words and you turn it into an acronym, now you've got, if you think about it, you've got all those days of writing. You could write an article on each one of those words.
Yep.
Right.
So, and being dyslexic and very visual, which word did you grab?
Aligned.
Aligned. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
so aligned now becomes an acronym, which then becomes a framework, basically, because each one of them has a meaning.
Yeah. You
Love it.
don't have to do that, but if you can, all of a sudden now you've got a playground you play in,
Yep.
right? Your CPOP, and you have an opportunity to now effectively play in the playground, and you've got a game plan to work on.
Yep. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Thanks for that exercise. Which leads me to my first question.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're
Only
21 minutes
only
into it.
only
And asking
20
a
minutes in, right?
question.
And this is a question I ask of all my guests because it's a topic of the show. Why LinkedIn for you specifically?
I, having been in Silicon Valley since before uh, before really the internet became something people talked about.
Mhm.
I happened to be in a
Was there
room
Silicon Valley before internet? I guess
before the internet was talked about, not before
okay.
the internet. That would
Yep.
make me way too young to be before the internet. Um, but the internet was, I worked at Sun Microsystems, and it was really 1996, 97 that we started talking about the internet. And that's
Yeah.
when I became an entrepreneur because it was just too hot to do that. But and it was really sort of it was around the early mid 90s was when LinkedIn started popping up. And I was in a room with Reid Hoffman and Konstantin Gerlich before LinkedIn was making money.
Mhm.
And they ended up commissioning me to have the first LinkedIn book written and published.
Oh,
And so I've
wow.
been playing, and that's this one, by the way, because what I said to them, guys, where do you think LinkedIn's going to make money? And they go,
Mhm.
we think the job search thing, the LinkedIn recruiting is going to make a lot of money. I said, I know
Mhm.
the book we should create. And the book was Happy About LinkedIn for Recruiting.
Oh my God. This is
And
so
so what we did with this book, by the way, you look at the price point. The
I
price point is $69.95.
wow, that was like a course. Yeah.
What I said was, hey guys, what are you going to offer the job posting at? They go, $70. I go, great. We're going to create a book called Happy About LinkedIn for Recruiting. We're going to charge the $70, assuming your engineers could give me a link that would give a free job posting for the company the first time they
Mhm.
want to do the job posting.
Yeah.
They go, no problem. Now, 2 weeks after they launched the service, there was so much demand, they increased the price to $180.
Oh,
But you could
wow.
still buy the book for $69.95 and get a free LinkedIn job posting.
Yeah.
And so I've been on LinkedIn since before LinkedIn was making money.
Wow.
And it is still the game in town. If you are focused, if your client base are
Mhm.
businesses, there's still one game in town to play. And
Yeah.
that game is LinkedIn. And the problem is you've had so many people coming in playing it in a slimy way. You have so many people who are giving you the types of tools and techniques which are icky. Now you
Yeah.
still may do it, even though somebody says it's icky, and you may try it and then it works. You're like, oh, I'll do it. I'll be icky just in this one time. And you and I will say no.
Yeah. And
Right.
I've been in the icky world. I mean, when Rob and I, my business partner and I started working together, which is now nearly 8 years ago. I mean, we would buy into these automation thingamajiggies, and we'd have all these planned, messages. And if somebody wrote back no, it didn't know the difference between no and yes. So it just kept spamming you with a whole litany of texts. And even to this day, sometimes when I scroll back in my messages with people that I've been on LinkedIn with forever, I come across those messages. I'm like, oh, holy crap.
Oh, I know. I did. Like,
There.
oh, I can't believe I acted like
Like
that. Oh
LinkedIn should
man.
archive anything that's older, whatever. Yeah. But so I've been in the icky world, and I know what it is, and I know how bad it feels and how it absolutely does not work. So, I come with a lot of credibility, to use your word, into what I'm doing today, which is to hopefully 100% non-icky, non-smarmy, no bro marketing. By the way, my client Gloria, and thank you, Gloria, for doing this. She's sending us her CPOP, which is midlife women wanting to live life their way.
Oh,
And I think that very much describes what she does.
yeah. Gloria, I'm going to say this. That sounds like it really could be you, right? And it's a nice, from a structural perspective, it's a really good CPOP.
Mhm.
And the only thing I'd like to do at some point in time, we can have a quick conversation. And I want to hear that what's in your heart and how you show up and how you speak reinforces that, right? And a lot of times it comes back to, this is a little bit, where I'm not a big fan of the why. I mean, I love why. Why is important. Simon Sinek did a great job of getting us all tuned into why, but we often do the why first. I'm going to say the who, what is first. Now that I heard your who, what, and it seems pretty good. When you and I talked, I want to hear sort of your why. And if what you wake up in the morning is fundamentally all around that, then yeah, that's a great CPOP.
Yeah. I mean, Gloria hasn't been a client for that long, but for the little I know her, I would say this is pretty spot on.
That's awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Well, see, you got clients that are in the 2%. Nice job.
Thank you. They find me, but yes, again, we attract our mirror, right? So, yes, been very, very, very fortunate with a lot of really cool clients. Okay, great. So that's why. So I agree with you 100% on the why LinkedIn. I always say it's the one honest game in town where we know why we are on LinkedIn. We're on it for business, right? Not for cat videos, or in my case, doggy videos, and not for recipes or what my I don't know, my nephew's doing or whatever, right? We're there to do business.
Well, Nina, can I say? I'm going to say yes and right.
Okay. Lovely ascend. Anything
the thing is, if your life, if doggy videos are so important, right, and that's part of your life, then it's okay to share it. Just
I totally agree with you, but what I don't. So yes, and I think the distinction here is, yes, I will share my dog to anybody who wants to. By the way, if your dog comes out of your mouth, you got a picture of my dog right in your. I think it's important to share, and my dog Tigger makes an appearance on my head banner on my LinkedIn because he's a huge part of my life. But I'm not going on LinkedIn to get suckered into 2 hours later, and I've moved from Rottweilers to Labs to Golden Doodles to now I'm at the Dachshund. So that is what we don't have on LinkedIn, and for what I appreciate LinkedIn, right? And it doesn't mean I'm not sharing maybe a recipe, or I'm not sharing something personal, but I am not there for that first and foremost, and I know I'm not going to get suckered into it, right?
Got it. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's just simply, if that's who you are, it's okay to share. It's just you're not doing it because you want quote unquote viewers, which are not. You're not doing it just to get the viewers or the clicks or it's not about how many people see you. It's about the right people seeing you.
I was just going to say about the right people. So, since we are running out of time really quickly here, but I love what we're doing with this conversation. Talk to us just for a couple of minutes about what you do with your clients on LinkedIn specifically, because you have a really interesting framework, and I think it could be really interesting for my people to hear about it.
So the most important part is obviously to understand your CPOP, because then at least I know the playground you're playing in.
Mhm.
And then the 90, or let's see, the 5% of LinkedIn functionality that I believe brings you 80% of value is inside of LinkedIn Messenger.
Yeah.
Right. So the most important thing one can do is to spend time on the LinkedIn Messenger part of it. And that is continually to build the relationships and to do what actually you and I started talking again simply because I ended up reaching out to you and going, hey, Nina, it's been a while. Let's have a conversation, and let's call it good old fashioned networking. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really there are 7 habits of effective LinkedIn usage. Like many of us, we have a framework. So
Yeah.
there are 7 habits of highly effective LinkedIn relationship building.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is I'll share the 7 habits and help support the understanding and methodology and approach that my clients are taking, so that ultimately what they're really doing, the last 2 habits are the most important. Habit number 6 is to be able to post content once a week.
Yep.
Now, I know you like posting 2 or 3 times a week, right? So that's not a problem on that. So if you can post content once a week, you're showing your potential prospects that you're staying current.
Yeah.
Right. And the actual content and how much time, you take doing that, I think as long as it's good content that relates to you is important.
Yeah.
The second and last, but the most important thing, and it depends on how many followers you have and who your client base is, but spending a half hour a day inside of LinkedIn Messenger, building the types of relationships. So I'm a big fan of celebrating life events. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy new job. And then sending out that initial message, where you say, hey, congrats on your birthday. You write something really that's important to your brand.
Yeah,
by the
something
way,
personal.
it's inside your CPOP.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they say thank you, you relook at their LinkedIn profile and go, oh, Nina, it's been a while since we talked. Let's make sure we do that. Or if you look at their profile and like, yeah, somebody nice to have, but I don't want to talk to today, you just move on, right? So it's coming into LinkedIn Messenger with the goal of finding the referral partners and the prospects you want to talk to. And that's really that's the hidden gem inside of LinkedIn.
Yeah. And what I love about it is you're sort of picking up where I'm leaving off, because I don't talk that much about the DMs. I'm quite frankly not very good at them. But it is sort of that continuation of, I was just saying to someone the other day, it's not like you're at a networking event, with your soda in hand or your glass of wine in hand, and you just leave the conversation mid-sentence and never show up again, right?
Oh, that's a great one. I've seen that before. I can feel that experience.
Yeah, but then you probably, cracked a really bad joke or something. But you know what I mean in general? People will stick around for a complete conversation and then move on.
Yes.
And I think on LinkedIn or social media in general, very often we just kind of just leave mid-sentence to go to the bathroom and we never come back, right? Which is in real life is so freaking rude. We would never consider doing that unless, somebody was telling us inappropriate jokes. So anyway, so I think that is really, really important to sort of continue that thread from messages or comments over into DMs, right? That's really, really important. And Jennifer Hooks. Jennifer, thanks for sticking with us. She's 9 words. She's still thinking. You have about 3 or 4 minutes left, Jennifer. And otherwise, you can find Mitchell on LinkedIn. So my penultimate question to all my guests is, what is your biggest LinkedIn pet peeve?
It's the I'm going to say it's the result of what's happened on LinkedIn that causes the pet peeve are the people who all of their clients they've gotten from word of mouth, and they are serving other businesses, but they've gotten so tired of being sales slimed that they go, yeah, no, I'm not using LinkedIn. It doesn't work for me. I use other things, and they've given up.
Yeah.
In LinkedIn's combatant of that, they've gotten overboard, in terms of trying to find people who are doing automated messages, who are using admins to support them. But it's interesting to me, if there's any executive of LinkedIn who is actively on LinkedIn and they don't have their admin going into LinkedIn, I'd like to know who that is.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Exactly.
Right. And so, part of being credible is, and I'll just show this super quickly for those that see it. Credibility is the quality in which you're trusted, known, and liked. And so part of being credible is being our authentic self. And so if there's a LinkedIn exec who's actively on LinkedIn and they and they're authentically them and going on and carving the time every day, great. I want to feature that person in what I do.
Yeah.
It's about being a servant leader, being authentically you, being coachable in who you are. That's why we're talking. And at the end, being likable is sharing your stage, right?
Yeah.
Sharing cred dust. And so this is my definition of credibility. And so when you ask me, what do? I help people not just get their clarity, but then also live in the framework of credibility, because then you show up as your authentic person wanting to be of service to others.
Yeah. I love that. And I love how you shared that. And I love the term cred dust. I think that's just such an incredible term. I'm going to have to, borrow that on occasion.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of borrowing. And then what do you see is the biggest mistake? And I kind of think I know the answer at this point, but what do you think is the biggest mistake you see people make on LinkedIn?
Oh, the biggest mistake is not what they do. It's when they believe that somebody else has the answer, and they end up spending a big amount of money on getting the answer.
Yeah.
Right. It's I got a program, not me. They what they'll say is, I have a program and it's $10,000 or $15,000 and you get this. I guarantee that you'll make 6 figures in 3 months. And now here's the thing. If they guarantee you'll make 6 figures in 3 months, great. Give them $500 or $1,000 a month for 3 months. And then if you make the 6 figures, give them 150% of what they wanted, but let them buy into it by not asking for the upfront fees, right? And they'll laugh at you or tell you why they can't do that. And thing is, if somebody can guarantee their work, that's great. Make them guarantee it with money. So what often happens, I'm talking to somebody that they're at their last leg. And what you and I do, if you're at your last leg monetarily, it's really hard because there's some basic money and functionality. And if you're curious about if you need to actually make money in order to pay the bills, sometimes that's when people do things which are a little icky and slimy because they want to pay the bills. And I prefer to talk with people before that happens.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you catch them before, and I think it's also managing expectations, which I think goes fully into the icky and the smarmy, which is the promising of X. You get your money back in the first 3 months, whatever. I would never make promises like that because it not just only depends on me delivering, and also that it's a partnership. Whatever I offer, and I know you too. It's like, our clients need to partner with us in order to make happen what we promised should happen. And if, I'm not sitting around taking stock on every single move. So I need to also trust my clients that they are putting in their end of the bargain to get to results.
Right.
So,
Oh,
you know,
Nina,
it's
I'll say something. So I'll promise that I'll get the right people according to their CPOP in the room.
Mhm.
Now, here's what I can't promise. I can't promise that you have the right product at the right price and you can communicate that effectively.
Yeah.
But if I can get the right prospects in the room for you to talk to, and you're still not making sales, now you can narrow in on what's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. And sometimes it's these smaller iterations, right? That, I mean, I've been doing the same thing for a long time, and all of a sudden it pops, right? And all of a sudden it's like, it's working, right? Don't touch it.
They get their CPOP and it works. No, just
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Mitchell, this was way too fast. I could go on for much, much, much longer, and I think our audience wouldn't mind either. Thank you so much for making time to talk to me today. And I know you and I were going to continue this conversation in a different format. In what we say, we said March, right? You have
we have a date. Yeah, my dissertation's in March, so
yeah. The whole dissertation is so fascinating, but we're running out of time. So next time, another time. So we want you to focus on your dissertation, and we'll pick up again sometime in March.
That sounds great. And then you could connect to me on LinkedIn, but I have a large number of followers. One of the best ways, Nina, is for people to go to my website. So it's mitchelllevy.com, MITCHELLLEVY.com. And there you could see the programs I have going on. And if you're interested, if this inspired you to want to put time on the calendar, you can actually get to my calendar and book time directly from that. So that's mitchelllevy.com.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And it is already in the show notes, however you want to call them on LinkedIn. So
nice.
The link to your website is on there. So thanks again so much for joining me. And I'll be back next month with a new guest on Nina Goes Live's LinkedIn Straight Talk for coaches and creators. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Nina.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.